Hello everyone, my name is Ben and welcome back to PASSTHEauxCORD, a channel where we left this off and had just listened to track number 6, Bad Habits, meaning that track number 7, Sweet Dreams Tennessee, I think is TN, yeah, that's the state abbreviation, I do believe, but then again, we're talking British people. Yeah, okay, it is an abbreviation for Tennessee, because that is where Alex Turner's girlfriend at the time was from, kind of, anyways, and where she considers hometown. So that makes sense. Regardless, Sweet Dreams, Tennessee. Let's go.
Without your baby, and to lick without your baby.
That took a turn.
Ain't I fallen in love? Everyone's a dick without your baby.
I love how blunt the lyrics are. It's becoming a bit repetitive at this point, but I feel like that's part of the ironic point of it. Oh, this sounds so nice. You know, really that title track happened where things were a bit different that time around, and everything has been like a lot better since then. You know, there's been pretty much no tracks that bore me in any way outside of really all of them since then, including that one, and really honestly including Dracula Teeth as well, that all sound really interesting and unique and have a much more definitive concept than a lot of that stuff on that first album. I absolutely, no doubt about it, like this one a lot better than that one already. We're halfway in, and I can say that for sure, because even if there's nothing else I like on here, I've liked these last few songs enough to where that's totally fine at this point. I loved the self-awareness to the very blunt lyrics that happen on here. That was certainly appreciated. That really worked well with this extremely overdramatic sound. You know, it just took a little bit of self-awareness to put this track together, I feel like, and Alex Turner really held it together for that. Gotta appreciate those lines that would just pop up and just be so brutally honest and blunt that you know, just didn't match the sound at all, but the contradiction just makes it have all the more character in context, so love that quite a bit. Used to Be My Girl is the next one on here. Kind of got that western sound on this one as well. There's a really slick flow to it. Yeah, I feel like I say that about a lot of tracks, but I love this guitar section here. Works really well.
I'm a freak, a fraud, a snake.
Backing vocals sound really cool here. Experimental elements going on in this one as well. Oh, and then it just kind of ends. Yeah, that one really had this nocturnal sound to it, I guess, if that makes any sense. Seemed like just gave me the image of the city in the nighttime. I don't know why that's where my mind goes, but it is. A lot of the meaning can be straight derived from the title, and honestly I don't even know why I try to interpret Last Shadow Puppet's lyrics at this point, because either it's going to be something completely absurd or it's going to be very blatantly obvious, and really much of it you can just grab right from the title. But essentially our narrator here used to be in a relationship of some kind with this girl and now isn't, and is thinking about how unbelievable it was for one reason or another that was in fact the case at one time, But it had a lot to like in the instrumental there, especially as it got more experimental towards the end there with those hits of distorted guitar that would just come in at just the right time, keep you a little bit on your toes for that one. But once again, just had a good vibe to it. That's one of the biggest things to appreciate about it. She does the woods. What? According to the bio here, this song describes the wild act of having sex in nature. So there we go, I guess. The girl in this song introduces the protagonist to this new and exciting experience, which leaves him a bit uncomfortable, but he would do anything to please her. Okay, that'll about do it, I suppose. Clever. There's nowhere else to do. Yeah, I see where this is going now. Really like this guitar section here. And again, the descriptions here are just so well put. Very well said it. This has more of a rock-centric sound to it again, too. Just gets better with the double entendre there. Yeah, such a good energy on this song. Nice. Yeah, I was really hoping that it wouldn't necessarily go into the direction of just being more stripped back and low-key at the end there. I was hoping we were going to get like a reveal of it becoming much larger sounding like the beginning portion of the track towards the end there, and it really, really paid off in that regard. Does pretty well there. To just reiterate what I said before, he does such a good job at explaining something that's not necessarily mundane, but pretty straight and to the point. You know, I really feel like Alex Turner took his efforts of becoming so extraordinarily over-descriptive and put them to good use here. But yeah, this song had a huge amount of charisma to it. I feel like there were even some like double entendres I didn't quite catch, but everything was just so vibrant in the descriptions that it really stayed entertaining the entire way through, despite directly knowing what the song was about before even getting into it. And the sound of that one, again, had a very good energy, was more upbeat than some of the stuff on here, so appreciated that as well. Pattern is the next one on here. That's a very much so overdoing it kind of metaphor, but fits here. It's almost drawing in some of the Western influence and flair that some of their earlier work had. I feel like it could have done a lot to switch up the lyrics for Miles' part there. Kind of liking the angelic backing vocals there. Oh wow. Yeah, the ending section's doing a lot for it. That song on there, really don't know if it had to be the longest track on the album. I feel like there's very little in the way of reason for that. I feel like it didn't do enough to necessarily justify its place as that. I feel like that's definitely the most boring one we've had in like a while here. It just kind of sounded like a lot of their other stuff, but at the same time, you know, it was okay for sure. I really liked that ending portion there. Usually when they would cut it away to just instrumental section at the end, didn't necessarily do a lot for me. But in this one, that definitely improved my overall enjoyment of the song quite a great deal. Appreciated that a lot for sure. Otherwise, that song just it was just kind of there again. But it didn't necessarily bring down my enjoyment of the album by any means. It still sounds really nice. The entire atmosphere and vibe that they go for just always presents itself in a way that's very easy on the ears, easy to listen to. It's pretty out of the realm of possibility in my mind for them to put together a song that would actually be bad to listen to in any way, if that makes sense. Just that one specifically didn't do a lot for me, for a lot of the same reasons as some of the other ones happen. But the Dream Synopsis is the next one, and this one may be a song that I kind of like in the editing. I skim over, much like Aviation probably was in the first part, because this track was, it did have a version on the EP as well. It was actually the title track of the EP. I loved it on there, so you know, we'll keep it out there, see what happens. Might be a little different, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, this one's actually significantly smaller in length. Yeah, I feel like there's a portion that was chopped off the front. I do remember these lyrics, but it seemed like they didn't come so early.
My dream report, and the snows fall. Some kid I went to school with.
Yeah, it still sounds really nice. I feel like it's taking some of the transitionary moments out there, and I don't know why they opted to do that. Ah, this section. At least they did keep this in. Yeah, still such a beautiful track though. Okay, yeah. Love that track still. I just don't know why they opted to do it that way, when they could have just kept the original version in there, because I don't know, maybe this is more of like a radio edit type situation, but I like the EP version of that song a lot better. I have returned to it a couple times because it's pretty much my favorite Last Shadow Puppets song, I want to say. But yeah, still beautiful track. Very nicely executed. I just wish that it would have stayed as the EP version, I guess. When I'm regularly returning to these, I am much more likely to return to that particular one rather than this one on the album here. It felt like there was something missing from the beginning is all. And the Bourne Identity is the closer here. Oh, apparently this is a bonus track as well. So wow, this actual album is even shorter than I thought. But honestly, I couldn't find a better way to send it off than putting the Dream Synopsis at the end there. That's a really fitting closer track to this album for sure. So, you know, I mean, makes sense and everything. I think that this will probably be less of a closer than that one will. So, great choice in that regard. But we're going to listen to it regardless. The Bourne Identity. Let's go. Folky sound going on here. And a very subtle vocal performance going on here. I love the self-awareness again, kind of popping up. Really love that description. Nice slow down here. Kind of a fade out going on. That's definitely one of the simplest tracks on here for sure. Fits as being a bonus track because I don't really know how well it fits in with the album at all. Totally took a different sound and style with a very folky approach going on there and the subdued vocal performance rather than having kind of an elegant sound to the vocals on there at all. And, you know, just kind of took a very regular sound, added some very dramatic instrumental flair to it, as they tend to do. And I'm sorry if there's a reference that's a bit lost on me, because I have not seen the Bourne Identity before. I'm pretty sure that's a movie. I think so, at least. So, you know, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that's a movie, and it's one that I have not seen. So maybe the sequel wasn't good. That's my only guess. But either way, there were some good descriptions, good metaphors going on in the lyrics here. Very much so just represents a lot of the other stuff that they've done again. So that's about where it stands. I guess that's all of the content we've got for that. Overall, thoughts on this album. This one was way better than their first album, and I think it stayed quality consistent with their EP that came immediately before this for sure. Really kept with that same, much more varied sound, style, approach. Really had a lot of songs on here that took a lot of different routes rather than sticking with their formula, their sound, and their style. Really innovated a lot more, really captured a lot more genres and moods on this album on here. And I think that there's a much bigger variety, a much bigger separation in between some of the songs on here, and I think overall, it just has a lot of highlights that I'll be returning to, I'll be coming back to. Like I said, everything track 3 forward is really worth coming back to. And I didn't really care for pattern, but pretty much everything else in there, I think, is very worthy of re-listening. I feel like I've pretty much given as much of a description as I can give otherwise, because much of it comes down to there isn't a lot of consistency going on with the piece. You know, it varies a lot, and the sound is really the most consistent thing about it. And the lyrical content, of course, is very there. You know, it stays very much so with their theme, their narrative, just how it usually goes with the band. The lyrics stay pretty consistent as well. But it's just kind of this mood that holds the whole thing together rather than the individual songs feeling like they directly tie together. So there's that aspect of it as well. And because of that, I feel like describing the whole album doesn't really get to the picture of it, so there's not really a lot to say for it in that regard. Overall, I guess I'm feeling like a 7+ out of 10 on this one. Definitely would consider it a good album. So that's just about going to wrap it up for this one. Let me know what you thought of this album down in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Drop a like on the video if you did like what you saw today, and subscribe to the channel for more music-related content coming your way. Hit the bell for notifications on that same thing as well. But that is just about going to wrap it up for this one, and I will see you in the next video.